Renata Sander here from MeatAdvisors.com, and I'm joined with Brittany Chibe, founder of Paleo Scavenger. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good, thank you so much for coming into our office.
Thank you.
So I want to start off with asking you to tell our audience a little bit about your background.
Sure. So I founded Paleo Scavenger this past June, so I've been working on it for 7 or 8 months now. And prior to that, I was a national account sales manager with a large dairy manufacturer. I spent 6 years with them calling on major retailers and then food service chains. Did that for quite a few years and really learned the food industry, and then decided to go off and start my own business.
So what is Paleo Scavenger? So what's your product?
Yeah, so Paleo Scavenger is a paleo-friendly snack company. So if you're not familiar with paleo, it's basically really clean way of eating. So no grains, dairy, soy, no refined sugars. Really focused on eating food in its most natural state. So meat, vegetables, fruits, nuts, and seeds. So the product that I currently make is a paleo granola. So it's made with nuts, honey, coconut oil. Like I said, just really clean. So I have 2 flavors right now, actually launching 2 more next month.
Oh.
And then want to branch off and do, I don't want to be just a granola company, I want to be a snack company. So bars, paleo kids down the road too. So it's granola for now, but much more to come.
So it's like literally the granola, and then you could just snack on it, or maybe put it in another food and kind of mix it up.
Like eat it out of the bag, put it on like some fruit. If you're not strict paleo, you can put it on yogurt. I know people like to put it on Greek yogurt.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, wait, but yogurt isn't paleo.
Yeah. Or like coconut milk ice cream or something, like just like a topper. So yeah, it's super versatile, but I just prefer to eat it out of the bag. And I actually ran into someone yesterday who I sold to at one of the farmers markets last weekend, and she was like, I was like, this with the bag, like I couldn't get the rest of the crumbs out. I like to hear that.
I want to taste it now. So what made you start this business? So what's your why?
Yeah, so my why was, it's just really hard to find a paleo snack in the grocery store. There's so many like healthy, better for you snacks, but then when you look at the ingredient list, it's filled with just fillers and really unhealthy sugars and just unnatural things. And for me, I love to snack. Like I've always been a snacker, and I always carry something with me just because I get super hungry during the day. Especially when I was in my corporate job, I was traveling like crazy, and I could never find anything when I was on the go that was a paleo-friendly snack. So I just was like, if I have this issue, other people must have this problem too, whether you're paleo or not. You want to feel good about what you're eating. So I just decided, hey, I'm going to go test this product, see if it sells. I took it to a farmer's market. I got that instant customer validation that people are willing to pay for it. So that's when I started bringing it to retailers. They loved it, said they put it on their shelf once I was in that commercial kitchen. And so that was the why. Just, it was like a need that I personally had, and I assumed other people had that need, and just went out, tested it, validated it, and started producing it.
So are you strictly paleo?
I am. I started at paleo like 2 years ago. I was training for a half marathon, and I have tons of friends that do CrossFit. I've never tried it myself, but they love the paleo diet. So they got me into it, like just giving me recipes and things like that, like, hey, just try it. So I started it when I was training, and I felt so much better. Like my body felt better. I was just recovering faster. I was sleeping better. Like it was amazing. I had this chronic ankle injury that like just the way I was eating just made it better. Unbelievable. Like the food you're putting into your body really is what keeps you, it was crazy how much I loved paleo. So I was really strict for probably the first 6 months, and then I was like, okay, like let me try and reintroduce something. I reintroduced dairy. My body could not handle it, so I'm like, okay, I can't do dairy anymore. I can do gluten-free grains a little bit, so if I want to have like a piece of bread with something, it'll be gluten-free. So I do cheat with that kind of stuff, but otherwise I'm pretty strict about it.
So who is your target market, as well as are you now directly talking to stores to use your product? Are you reaching specific individuals, I guess farmers markets?
The target market, I guess, it's kind of that niche market with paleo, but then really the better for you segment. So people who want to eat healthier, like want to have good, snack options. And the demographic, I mean, it's anyone from like teenagers who are into sports to people in like their 60s who just want to eat better. I mean, it's amazing. And that's what's great about the farmers markets is I see all the different, segments of customers, and I have people like little kids telling me like, oh, this is good. And then their grandparents coming up and like buying it. So it's just, it kind of crosses like all these generations, which is awesome. But I found that the people that really support it are those like paleo fanatics, like CrossFit, those kinds of folks. But I mean, everyone who tries it really likes it and they understand it's like something clean that they're eating. But yeah, so I'm selling direct to the store. So I'm at 6 different stores in Chicago. And I do a weekly farmers market in Logan Square, and then I have my e-commerce channel, which is great because that way it reaches everybody nationwide.
Yeah, versus just being in Chicago. Because right now the stores are in
just Chicago, yeah.
Okay, got it. So what are some of the challenges that you've seen growing the business? You just started in June and you've come so far.
Yeah, it's been crazy. Like sometimes I think about it, I'm like, wow, I've done so much in such a short amount of time. But then I'm like, there's so many other things I can be doing right now, but I'm just one person. So it's like, I have to like remember that, like I can't do it all. So that's been a challenge, is just figuring out like when to bring somebody in and who to bring in. Because I want someone that'll have like, complementary skills, but then someone who has more knowledge in other areas, like operationally. I am not good at that. I'm more like a strategy, like business development, marketing kind of person, where it would help to have someone with like the operational mindset.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like I can't afford to pay anybody. So there's that piece of it. And I know everyone's like, well, you have equity, but I've just been really careful about, I don't want to just start giving up equity of the business because it's kind of a precious thing.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people just kind of throw that around, and it's like, well, I just want to be careful about what I do. So that's been a challenge, just figuring out who to bring in, who to partner with. And honestly, the biggest challenge as a startup, for me at least, has been cash flow, especially in the product business, because it's like you have your ingredients, you have money tied up in ingredients, money tied up in your inventory. And then these stores, I mean, retailers, it's great, but they'll take, I asked for like net 10 payment terms, and it's like 30, 60, 90 days for them to pay you. So that's the hardest challenge, is just like making sure you have enough cash coming in where you can continue to produce to get your product out there.
Yeah.
So, that's been like the biggest challenge I've had. So.
And recently, or kind of recently, you had this really cool accomplishment. You were on Good Morning America. Yeah. So can you tell us a little bit about that? And
yes.
I know we were talking before we went on, and you told me that story, and it's kind of crazy that it all happened and came together.
Yeah,
so
it all happened in like 4 days. So I was on Good Morning America on a Friday morning. The Tuesday night prior to that, I got a message from a friend with a screenshot of something he had seen on Facebook. And it was a GMA producers looking for a female entrepreneur with a sales background. And I was like, this is me. Like, I need to send them a message. So I wrote up an email with like my background, like what I've been doing, what Paleo Scavenger is, sent it to them. And then that night they said, okay, this is great. I'm going to forward it on to Good Morning America. So Wednesday morning, GMA emails me back, like, thanks for your pitch. This is the gimmick of the week. The shark won't be able to see you, so you have to have something that's audibly interesting. I make granola. Granola is not audibly interesting. So I'm like calling and texting all my friends. No one's responding to me. So I made up a rap about my granola to Eminem's Lose Yourself. So I recorded myself with my iPhone, sent them the video. The GMA producer's like, okay, this is fine, but take out the background music, cut out the beginning.
We don't want Eminem.
We don't want Eminem playing in the background. Take out the beginning, like add more about like why you do paleo, why it's good for you. And so she's like, I need it within the hour. So I re-record myself, send it in, and then Thursday morning, she's like, okay, I'm pitching this to my bosses at 10:30. If they like it, can you go on a flight later today? And I'm like, yes.
No, like, why not?
I couldn't stop laughing. Like, I think for 2 hours straight, I was just sitting at my desk laughing.
Like, did this really happen?
Yeah, like, is this happening? Like, is this real life? So then after she pitched it to her bosses, she called me. She's like, they loved it. Like, are you really going to do this? Like, if we book a flight, like, are you really going to come here and do this? Yes. Like, why wouldn't I?
Again, yes.
Yeah. So I flew out there Thursday night. I had to be at their studio 5:30 in the morning on Friday. We run through like a rehearsal really quick, and I had like a little boost of confidence because there were like the producers and like cameramen like standing on the floor, and when I was done, they were like, yeah, like I didn't expect that to come out of you, like where did that come from? I'm like, okay, I got this. And then later that morning, like we're sitting there, like Emerald's walking by. I'm like, hey, like all these things are happening, and like it was just such a cool experience. And then we were like the last segment of the show, so we do our pitch. Like got to meet Barbara, which was really cool. She's funny. She's telling like dirty jokes. I was not expecting that.
Barbara the shark.
I know, she was hilarious. So it was just so fun. It was such a whirlwind. And then like I was on a flight back to Chicago at like noon that day. So it was just like so quick. And I'm like, did that really happen? Like, and I'm walking like down the airport, like through the terminal with this ridiculous shark trophy, and I had people looking at me. A guy at TSA was like, you don't look like you fight sharks. And I'm like, no, like Shark Tank, like have you heard of it? So it was just crazy, like awesome experience. Like it was so cool, so much fun. And like the whole thing was so quick. I'm just like, I still can't believe I did it. So
Cool. Well, kind of wrapping things up, what is that one piece of advice that you would give to our community of entrepreneurs and Meet Advisors?
So I guess my one piece of advice would be, don't be afraid to go out there and do your thing. Like go test your product. I know when I read, what book was it? Like Lean Startup or something, like get out of your building. Like that was the biggest takeaway I got from like all my education in terms of entrepreneurship. You're not gonna learn just from sitting inside like your cube or at your desk. Like you have to get out there, you have to talk to people, you have to talk to consumers and other, potential business partners and just other people in the community. And the biggest thing I found is just asking for things. Like, don't be afraid to ask for something because the answer is always going to be no if you don't ask.
True.
So, I mean, that's my biggest thing. Like, just, hey, like, can you make an introduction to this person? Or can you set up a meeting here? Or can I be a part of this event? It's just been so amazing, like, how supportive the Chicago community has been. Like, the startup community, even people that are, like, experienced and have, like, a major business now, like, they want to help the young startups and like the underdogs, which has been, it's so great and so cool and so surprising, like that. But that's been my biggest thing, is like just not being afraid to ask for anything. And it's been amazing, like the connections I've made at every event that I've done, whether it's like a farmer's market or some kind of event. People just want to help, and like they've come up to me. Like I had one girl, for instance, who was at Booth, University of Chicago, their MBA program, and she was like, I love this like female entrepreneurship. I want to introduce you to a couple of like local founders who both have food companies. So I Heart Quinoa and Simple Mills. Both of them were Booth students, have these awesome like better for you healthy snack companies now. So I was introduced to both of them. Because of that, I've met other people. So it's like there's this startup community, whether it's tech or food or whatever space you're in, there's this awesome community in Chicago, and it's like just get involved and don't, just meet these people and don't be afraid.
Don't be afraid.
Yeah,
So where can people find out more about you? Where can they order your product?
Yeah, so paleoscavenger.com.
Okay.
You can read up about the company, my background, order product there. Or if you're local, every Sunday I'm at the Logan Square Farmers Market from 10 to 3. Yeah, and then I'm doing a crowdfunding campaign right now on SeedKicks, so seedkicks.com, and I launched it, it'll be 2 weeks ago on Sunday, and I'm at 80% of my goal.
Great.
So I just need another grand to get me there. So.
Come on, guys. All right, well, great. Thank you so much for coming out.
Thank you.
Please check out paleoscavenger.com and check out meetadvisors.com for more videos and blogs. Thank you.
Thanks.